We're moving on. All right. That's number 5 in the prospect pool. The 5th of Judd'z Budz. Moving on to number 4 here. We have Isha. Can you pronounce this?
Öhgren. Liam Öhgren.
Very good. Very good. Liam Öhgren. Here we go. And I mean, again, pretty balanced across the board, anywhere from 3 to 5, but Isha is the highest. So what say you about Liam Öhgren?
I just like how he has played pro in AHL, did good, NHL, did good, played pro overseas, did good, and has played well in the World Juniors as well, despite not putting up a lot of points in his last showing there. Like, he clearly showed that he was one of the leaders on the team, and if it wasn't for hitting the post a couple times or being like the first guy to set up the play and create space for some of the guys, he very well could have had a bunch of points in that last tournament. Like I said, he just checks all the boxes. Like, he's still super young, but he's ready for the pros, and he's ready for the pros at the highest level in the National Hockey League, right? He proved he was an awesome player in the SHL, coming off of injury and playing a tremendous year last year. Had a cup of coffee in the AHL, and they were like, "Oh shit, we got to see what he's made of here in the NHL, because he already looks good in the A." And yeah, just checks all the boxes. I imagine that it's going to be him and Height fighting for that roster spot. And if Riley Height does get it, there is a, if Billy Guerin and co decide that, like, okay, we have to keep Riley Height up here, it's not the end of the world for Öhgren, because he can play AHL for a little bit until they rearrange the roster and maybe make a move where then he can come back up. It's obviously the easier decision, barring, again, they both have an outstanding training camp, for Öhgren to be the one that they pick. But yeah, I think he's NHL ready. I think he's going to play next year. And even if he plays a little bit AHL, like, he'll probably outplay his time there quickly, and they'll have to bring him back up.
He's going to look really fucking good skating next to Joel Eriksson Ek for like the next 10 years. That's all I can say, is that those two are going to be an absolute, it's going to be horrible to play against those two. And if they get,
what's the three?
If it were me, it'd be Boldy if it were me. But I also think, like, this would also be a great spot for Riley Height, like someone who can, like, just park Ek out front and just have Riley Height feed just like perfect saucer passes right to Liam Öhgren's tape, so he can just like bar down it every time. Like, that'd be pretty cool too. But yeah, he made like great shot. I mean, obviously, like, the fitness has been well documented. He's been working out with NHL players since he was like a teenager, like a middle-aged teenager. He's obviously still a teenager, I think. I was thinking
he can also create space like X. So like, you put Boldy in there on that line too, and that's going to be a fucking tough line to play against.
Yeah. Like, if it were me, like, if you want to go back to Kaprizov and Zuccarello, and we're not going to have the debate about Rossi versus Hartman in the middle of them, but I think an Öhgren, Eriksson Ek, and Boldy line would be really, like, actually gives, like, you actually now have two lines that might actually have a chance of scoring versus, I mean, obviously the Boldy, Eriksson Ek, Kaprizov line was arguably the best line in hockey last year, if you look at pretty much any way you slice it. But back to Liam, I think I think he's top 6 forward on this team for a long time, and he's just going to be, is he going to be a point per game player? I don't know, that maybe that's his ceiling, but he's going to be that perfect type. He's going to probably play on the first power play, and he's going to put up goals as long as they get him with someone that can get him the puck.
Yeah, I love that he came in. He plays that great two-way game, but he came in last year and made an impact right away. I think he picked up a 2-point game or whatever. Just you could see it right away. At the development camp, Height was obviously the best skater there when I went, and Liam Öhgren's shot in person is even more incredible than it is seeing it on TV or computer, whatever you want to say. It's just a missile of a shot.
I hope they both make the team, man. That would just be so awesome, especially just for the fans as well. But
they won't.
They might. At least we're getting one. Yeah.
I do think it's pretty incredible that out of last year's first round, we got 2 of our top 4 prospects too. That's pretty amazing.
In the 20s.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yet the Wild are bad at drafting.
Wow.
Yes, but Z, I mean, I think you said it on draft day. Boldy, Ek, Öhgren, the line of the future.
I think
that's like,
yeah,
that's one of the just in terms of like two of those guys we already know. One has Eriksson Ek probably has hit like pretty close to the highest expectation you could possibly ask for a guy like him. Boldy is, as far as how old he is more than fulfilled, like what you would expect any player to do. Like he's already there. And a guy like Öhgren, when you just project him out, if he continues to develop and just stay on really the development path that he's been on in terms of his like trajectory, like that is one of the most well-balanced and terrifying lines you could possibly throw out in today's NHL, where you've got two elite defensive forwards, one guy like Boldy that's got like elite level skill, playmaking, also a sniper. Joel Eriksson Ek is a guy that's going to challenge for Selkies for the next however many years. And then Öhgren, who is a pure sniper, his two-way game has developed since his draft year tenfold. The idea of that line in the future is terrifying. Is if you're going to like just throw any other line out there on the ice against them, you don't really know what exactly to do. Like what do we take away? You can't. Like you literally can't take away this whole line. Like you just can't do it. You have to like choose your battles there. But Liam Öhgren, like in his draft year, I'll use it again. Eviscerated. There you go. The J20. Like I think he scored 38 goals in 35 games, and like 30 of them were at 5-on-5. Like not just in the power play, which was terrifying. And the big knock, or not even the big knock, it was the question was like, hey, is this going to be a pure sniper? Because if that's it, if there's nothing else in his game, like he's probably not even going to play NHL games, because like you can find any just like raw sniper in like any league in the world. But given his like the lineage there, with the fact that he's been training with pro players forever, when he got drafted, he was already like he had a pro frame already. So it wasn't a case where it was just like, yeah, he's just been bigger and better than everybody forever. And then you play against guys your age when they are fully developed, and it looks like, okay, everyone caught up. He's just continued to take steps every year. And it's crazy because like they drafted him. And then after the World Juniors that year, because that was the summer World Junior, the dumbest tournament of all time, he got hurt before the Allsvenskan season. So it was like, where is Öhgren? Why is he not playing? Then he finally got healthy again, played for Djurgården in the Allsvenskan, and immediately like was on their fourth line. Then once he scored a goal, they elevated him to their top six, and then he was a point per game player the rest of that season. They lost in game 7 to get promoted. Then he goes and plays for Färjestad this year, also gets hurt in the summer, starts with the fourth line, goes pointless first like 2 or 3 games, scores 1 goal, immediately elevated to their top 6, and like finished the year like probably 0.6 or 7 points per game.
Yeah, his best year pro.
Absolutely their number one go-to guy anytime they needed offense. Comes over to the NHL, and I mean I think like 3-4 games, still scored like I think it's 2 or 3 points in those games.
4 games, 1-1, and I think he had 1 taken away too.
Yeah, he did. I remember that because I was sick. I threw up in my mouth. I was in Minnesota when he scored. When I was in Minnesota, I was there. I was at fucking what's it called? I was there. But
St. Paul somewhere.
I think he has projected himself at this point with the trajectory and like how much better he's gotten every year, despite the fact that he's like started every season injured. Like the two-way game has taken 10 steps forward since his draft year, where it's like he's more than proven he's not just a pure sniper. And even the playmaking game has taken a step as well. So I do think at this point he's proven himself to be a dual threat offensively. He's taken a massive step in terms of two-way game. And we know he's got like the attitude of a guy that's not just like, yeah, I'm all about scoring goals. That's all I do. Like he is a pro hockey player. Like he kind of just like when you like, if you were to like create a pro hockey player in a lab, like it kind of looks like Liam Öhgren, where it's just like, yeah, he's like 6'2", He plays a good two-way game. He plays physical. He can score goals, can make plays. Like, he just like does whatever you need him to do whenever you throw him over the boards. Like, it's pretty much what he looks like. So the fact that he's only getting better is actually terrifying, because he's quite a fucking good hockey player already. So sky's the limit for him. And again, just like thinking about a future line of him with Boldy and Eriksson Ek is like, thank God the camera is like it cuts off here. You know what I mean? And thank God some people aren't watching. It's all audio. You know, here hands are here.
If I created a hockey player in a lab, he probably wouldn't have as good of a jawline as Liam Öhgren has,
or hair, to be honest.
Well, and the hair. I mean,
please go off about the hair.
Like the fact that he lit up when I asked him the fan question about how he maintains his hair. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got."
Let me tell you about these products.
He took his sweatshirt off. He was like, "All right, I was waiting for someone to ask me."
Do you want to hear something crazy about that, Hoppy? So, like, I think on it he mentioned about like, I probably only shampoo my hair like, I think he said like once a week, maybe twice a week.
Once or twice a week, yeah. I brought up
like,
the James Neal aspect too.
I used to do like full shampoo like 3-4 times a week. Since I heard Liam Öhgren say that, I've dropped it down to like twice a week.
Oh no, dude! Growing up, I did it like almost every time I showered because I had long hair and like I sweat. Like even when I'm in like peak physical condition, I sweat thoroughly.
Yeah,
and
I'll be sweating right now. I don't know if you guys can tell.
I wash my hair all the time, and of course it proved true. Like I think it makes your hair go away. Like I'm not bald, but like I'm definitely thinned in the front, which is why I bick the hair. But James Neal, he solved the riddle. Just do it every 2 or 3 weeks, and apparently the hair doesn't go away. That was still the craziest thing when he like said that so casually on NHL 36. He's like, "Oh yeah, I just like don't ever wash my hair. That's why I look so good." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Listen, anyone that follows this hockey team that's still doing more than twice a week shampoo action, please stop following this team. Please stop. That's why the Minnesota Wild haven't won a cup in the last 6 weeks.
Hang on, this is the new game. This is the new game because I've already thought because we got the whole like nerd angle to Fellowship of the Rink. We're probably going to bring Chisholm back on and have him do like the sorting hat for all the players on the team because he's a Harry Potter guy. I need Liam Öhgren to tell me how many times a week he thinks each of his teammates washes their hair based on their hair. That right there would break the internet.
Whoever just like, he's like, I bet that guy doesn't shampoo. They get bought out the next day, and it's fucking like.
Well, it's John Merrill. John Merrill hasn't washed his hair, and it's got to be 2 years.
I mean, Kaprizov probably hasn't washed his hair either in a while.
That's fine. He can do whatever he wants.
But then he goes to like Getzlaf. He's like, "Oh, this guy washes his hair like 3 times a day."
The other thing I liked from that interview that like kind of made my heart ache a little bit in a bad way was how much he looks up to Marcus Johansson.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up earlier, but he might be
I don't know.
JoJo on that line.
I talked about this on
if
my
that's what it takes to get Johansson going, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about this on like the Sota Pod episode with Seth. Like, I understand like people not happy with Johansson, but like just the vitriol and hate I don't get because like he was far from the worst player last year.
Lapanta's fault. Lapanta pumps him up, so we have to break him down.
It's crazy. He got so much. Points. Bro, he got like Goligoski hate last year and like Merrill hate. And it was like, really? Like, guy still got 30 points and he's pretty much been like a 30-40 point player his whole career. So like, just
my assessment of him was he was just unbelievably painfully average, which just that's not cut out
to
play.
He's an average fucking player. Again, we don't have to get into
just not a guy cut out to be in your top 6.
Yes, exactly.
They didn't have a choice really. So really
again, I didn't get the hate. I didn't understand the hate.
Z, it's not Mojo, right?
Fuck JoJo. Off. Far be it from me to be this guy as I would put my life savings, which is like $8, on me being the biggest JoJo fan here. But we're 4 hours in. We cannot possibly despart the mark. We can't possibly start this fucking market.
Yeah, let's move on.
We're done. Liam Öhgren, number 4. We're thrilled.